like Saints Row. I'm not talking about the old games, obviously. They released a new Saints Row game. Yep, a new Saints Row game. Saints Row as a franchise was kind of like dormant for a while. The last game they released was Saints Row Get Out of Hell and Saints Row Undercover, which were DLCs I think for Saints Row 4. But Saints Row 4 was one of those games that was basically trying to compete with GTA. That's what Saints Row basically completely was trying to do. And it did pretty well for a competitor to GTA. Okay? You're competing with one of the biggest gaming franchises of all time. But Saints Row is exactly why a lot of people, including myself, don't really play new games anymore. Okay? I get it, people say it's nostalgia talking, blah 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 blah. But a lot of newer games just are not that great. They come out, they make these big trailers that get you hyped for the game, and then they come out buggy and gritty. Okay, people are sick of this. They say, we're gonna complete the game. We're doing it to complete the game, but they don't actually complete it. Okay, they lied to you about Cyberpunk. They lied to you about Saints Row, and I'm not talking about all of the woke stuff in the game because I haven't played the game, but everybody's saying the game is extremely woke as well, which does not help this game. But, Saints Row, this game is a failure. This game is a failure, which is no surprise whatsoever. A lot of new games, come out gritty and buggy. They rush out these games, and then they'll justify, you have to pay so many dollars for games now because developers, they need more money. Okay, they need more money, even though they try to, nickel and dime you of everything. This is why this is why I don't really buy games anymore. They complain that Sony's like complaining that developers don't get paid enough. Games are $30 now. But then the, nickel and dime you of microtransactions to put day one patches, day one DLC, okay? It's super annoying, okay? Nobody cares about this stuff. People want good games. And they're so rare and far in between now that it's completely sad now. The gaming industry is now just, let's just try to nickel and dime you for using a big franchise or a big IP the most possible. Okay? Battlefield, Destiny, Cyberpunk, the Avengers, whatever it was called, Saints Row, all of these games as well. Now, most of the characters in Saints Row I heard were like Tumblr, Twitter characters, which definitely hurts the game, and they're doing it with GTA 6, so I don't think it will go down that well. But gaming as a whole, it's, especially Western gaming, isn't really doing too well. Multiverses did pretty well, okay? But Multiverses was a free game. You have very, very, very few successes, and the games like Elden Ring and games like Multiverses do well, and of course Fall Guys. But Saints Row, okay, it's a failure. Even the critics who love these types of games even gave it bad scores. As a 3.1 out of 10 as well. Okay. And yeah, people hate this game. People complain about all the glitches and bugs, the story and everything about this game. And I just think this current generation of gaming is even worse than the last. Okay? It's even worse than the last generation of gaming. Okay? You don't really have many good games coming out. You really don't. You don't really have anything. You have the Guardians of the Galaxy game that came out. That was pretty good. You had Elden Ring. And then you have stuff like Saints Row that nobody cares about. Or Battlefield 2142. Okay? Also, and on Nintendo you have Forgotten Land as well. Which, compared to which is like the only good game that I would probably, that Nintendo released this year, so far. Which is pretty hilarious. I'm not buying Xenoblade 3. I'm not giving money to cat girls. No, thank you. But yeah, this game is just another failure, for modern gaming. Modern gaming seriously needs to get its act together because people are just going to play old games like Minecraft and stuff and not play stuff like Saints Row. Okay? Maybe that's why Valorant was so successful and is still played by a lot of people. Maybe because they didn't want the game buggy and broken, and because there's no other games really coming out that isn't buggy and broken gritty, where it's loses faith with the player base. And then you have people complaining about, oh, review bombing, that's a problem. Review bombing is a big problem. Okay? People disliking something is not a problem. Okay? If someone dislikes something, they should be allowed to voice their opinion. But of course, the media and and social media wants to silence people's opinions because it's considered, offensive or hate speech or blah, 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 whatever they use to try to silence you. It's so sickening. And I wouldn't be surprised to use the same tactics they did with Buzz Lightyear, a movie that nobody watched. They used the same tactics with, of course, She-Hulk and War of the Rings of Power. They can use the same fucking things with War of the Rings of Power. But yeah, Saints Row, again, another disappointment that, from modern gaming, this is to be expected. Ever since the Xbox One and PS4 launched, gaming just hasn't been the same. Okay, developers have rushed out the games, leaving the games glitzy and buggy, and they'll say, but we need more development time, and then we get more games get delayed, because they won't fix the games. So we're having games be put on development hell, because these developers don't know how to make a game. It's just so sad. And then they'll pull out these big flashy trailers to make you interested into the game. And it's just so sad the way modern gaming is as well. You do have diamonds in the rough, but those diamonds in the roughs pale in comparison to the mountain of shit that has been released by these big developers. It's not just EA anymore, it's practically everyone now that has been in this victim area. Bethesda, you had with Fallout, you had 3D CD Projekt Red, even Nintendo themselves with Nintendo Switch Sports. Okay, it's shameful. Every developer has done stuff like this. Every one of them. Microsoft, Sony, Deep Silver, and many others. Goodbye.